Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm Extravault, and today we're following up this beautiful site that I've never seen before. We just knocked out phase 2, which is a personal milestone for me. So with that out of the way, we got to start looking at, what else can we do here, right? So there's a couple issues we got to take care of. I'll be the first one to admit that. But before I get into that, do me a quick favor, scroll down just a little bit, hit that subscribe button. We are just blasting off to 1,000 subs, and you guys are singularly responsible for that. So thank you very much, and let's hop right into this. So the last episode was focused on the output of these guys right here, and yeah, they're still going. I disconnected everything though, so you may have noticed they're all slooped. They're all putting out just an absolute ton of material, right? And that caused us a little bit of power issues. You can see right here, we're kind of dipping down, right? So I think one of the first things we got to do, let's just get rid of this stuff. We don't need it. We don't need any of this. Let's see if we can make everything look good again, you know? And it's like it never even happened. So now, there's a couple things we need to look at. First off, we need to go look and maybe unlock some stuff, you know? What's the point of going through all the phases if you don't actually unlock anything? So let's see what we can knock out now. Okay, obviously everything here is important. I feel like it'd be crazy to not get oil and logistics Mark IV first. I think this is stuff we can do. Tier 6. Oh god, Tier 6 has so much good stuff. I want manufacturers. I want trains. Mark II pipes. Blueprints. I think we have to start with oil, right? And I think we have most, if not all, of the stuff we need for that. So let me go down. We might have to make some motors, but I think we got all the stuff to be able to unlock this. So let's just boop right back here. All right, so now we just plop this all in there, and we get some oil. What do you got, Ida?
Milestone reached. Crude oil can now be extracted and refined to produce various industrially beneficial parts. The byproducts of these processes will require careful management, but a capable pioneer such as yourself surely understands that. To improve efficiency, pipelines can now be optimized with valves to limit and balance their throughput. These were initially left out because Fixit did not want to overwhelm pioneers with complex pipeline management, but they have since been re-added after my impassioned defense of your capabilities.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so you may have noticed some stuff there. Let me get to a power pole here. So you might remember that we have this fluctuating power grid here. And I think a lot of that is due to how we're using 300 pipes when we really need, or we're using 300 pipe when we're producing 360 and we need about 360 water. So I think valves will help solve this. So that's exciting. Something else I noticed. Now again, this is the first time I've been here to this part of the game. I mean, I've seen tons of other people play it. I got all that. Look at, right? What do we notice here that's missing? That's right, motors. What does that mean? That means we got to get motors made up here before we can really start moving forward. But what do we need to do before we can do that? That's right, more power. So one of the things we need to do, and I think the main thing, well, there's really two things, right? Number one, we got to expand that power. We got to add the second story onto the coal power plant, get that all hooked up and kind of optimized. Secondly, we need to decorate this place. I do not want a giant slab. And that's what we have here. So I think we'll kind of do this episode. Ideally, we get the power online and get some decor going here to at least get us to start moving forward. I want to do something. Yeah, you'll remember that we unhooked everything, right? Like all this stuff is unhooked. So we can add that back. Now you might notice when we go this way, Oh no, we're clipping, right? So I want to move these around, but I also want to make like a blueprintable base that I can use to kind of get them up out of the way and kind of put them on their own thing, right? And I'm kind of thinking about two separate ways to do that, in the sense that two separate styles, right? So something like this one, which is just sitting in the middle of the ground, I want something to kind of elevate it off the ground onto its own little, you know, platform, right? Similar to that. So we'll kind of have ones like that that are maybe just out and about, and we'll have ones similar to that right there, right, where they're almost connected or part of the building infrastructure. So I'll kind of think about blueprints for that, but that's kind of the goal there. And just kidding, before we go do the power, I wanted to actually do decor because I'm so much more tired of looking at this than I am of the power stuff, right? The setting up the factory floor is going to take a while, and so I want it to feel good when we're doing it, right? And so I had some ideas for this section of the base. The way I'm kind of feeling, this corner right here is going to be kind of like a main thoroughfare, because you see we have this natural kind of road, you could call it, going down here. So I wanted to do something in this area, and a lot of that has to do, well, the design I kind of have in mind. I'm kind of borrowing inspiration from some of the other Satisfactory creators I've seen, and you know, you might recognize some of these techniques, right? But I think we're gonna start maybe right here-ish. Actually, maybe we need this one. Now, if you've never kind of done any of this stuff, and there's so many tutorials out there, that's how I learned how to do this, right? If you've never kind of made diagonals, this is kind of how you do it, right? So you use these road barriers, and you'll notice that I'm putting them on the corners of these foundations. And the reason that these middle ones exist is for very specific reasons, right? So if we go, we'll see how this looks. So if we go here, right, and I'll just kind of hold this, you'll notice that the foundation is snapping to the end of that road barrier. Well, that doesn't quite line up with what we want. But if you look, there is a way where you can get it to snap right here, which you can't really tell because the road barrier is there, but those two corners will line up perfectly. So if I put this one down, you'll see there's kind of, again, there's this snap point, which is kind of going on the outside of both of those road barriers. But if I kind of move it over, it's right there in the middle, right? And if I get rid of these barriers, I'll keep that one. You'll notice that we have a pretty good corner right there. And so literally just do the same thing, you know, kind of, there's the snap point we want, and there's the snap point we want. And if I get rid of these, look at that, a nice 45-degree angle. Now there's a couple ways to work with these 45s, right? One of the things I want to do is put some windows over here. Again, like the road barrier method, super nice, right? So one thing, let's see. I'm going to do, let's say, something like this, right? You know what? I'm actually going to... no. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll mess around a little bit, right? But I want to do something like... And I'll paint all this stuff afterwards. I want to do something like this, where we come up... I don't know. That far. And I want to do something similar on this side. Nope, just need one. And we kind of come up. Maybe less on this one. And then maybe kind of come out a little bit. Let's go right there. So my idea is that because this is kind of like the main, or a main thoroughfare, or kind of like a focal point, I'm going to have this big kind of rounded window, right? And what I want to do is maybe do, and this is actually not going to work, right? if I try to put this honeycomb frame window, I mean, yeah, I could kind of move it in place like that, but it's a little imprecise. You know what I mean? So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to... I like these being in the middle, right? I want to have the windows attached to this middle part. So again, we're just going to bring out the trusty road barrier. This thing is amazing, right? So I'm going to put it right here in the middle of the foundation because that's where I want these windows to kind of snap to. Yeah, this part, we'll get to that part. This can be a little bit more tricky. So I can use, so you see how it snaps to the top of the foundation? If you hit control, it'll just replace the road barrier there. So I can put that down. And again, how are these gonna line up? Not great. Okay, so this is kind of what I mean. Let's do this like right about there. Okay. And let's get rid of that. And now let's see. How is that looking? Not ideal. But if I do a little control, right? So you kind of, if you're nudging, right? The full arrow key gives you, I don't know, half a meter or something like that, or a full meter. Right? So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, it's almost taking up the half the foundation, right? But if I do a control and then an arrow, it gives me a little bit finer control. It gives you like a smaller step. And I think, I mean, what happens if I go forward a little bit? That almost looks like too much. I think that can be good for now. And then what's nice is we can kind of just stack that. And then bring back the road barrier. And this is kind of this is like my thought process here. This is how I'm kind of thinking about this. So hold H there, and maybe we gotta come. I don't know if I'm really liking how this is turning out, but you know what? Let me kind of mess around with this, and I'm gonna mess around with this, and we'll kind of come back and I'll explain what my thought process and how I got there. Okay. So I ended up, I mean, this is what we're working with so far, right? I ended up changing this a little bit to just be kind of a single, right? I only took one corner out here. But this is kind of what I was talking about. I like the idea of having this giant kind of windowed wall here that you're going to see from the other side. I may expand out a little bit this way, which is why I kind of haven't finished this off. But going this way, I'm going to kind of carry the roof line over. And you see I'm kind of encasing the hub a little bit here. Yeah, but I mean, this is kind of what I wanted. We're at least getting close there, right? And I've kind of done some stuff out here to make the walk-in or the drive-in seem kind of nice, right? So I'm just kind of filling in this area here. I'm going to, kind of finish that off there. But the idea is, when you're coming up or when I have a train or something coming on here, it just like looks better, right? And I may end up doing some stuff in these walls to kind of open it up a little bit, but this is just the I guess the baseline or the template, Let's go inside here, and I'm expanding out my walkways a little bit. I'm probably gonna probably continue this wall over some more and put a way up and down here. But again, the idea is that you're coming in here, and this is just like the underbelly. I may end up actually, I was thinking about this, raising these belts a little bit and kind of elevating them so that there is a ground level. Obviously we'll have to come down at a certain point, but yeah, I think that's kind of the goal, is to almost have this like flurry of activity under the slab, so to speak. And I'll do things inside here, like design elements, to make it look like, yeah, we got like a big like support column coming up and down, make it look massive and kind of spread those around. In the corners, I'm going to try to do stuff similar to this, right? So over there, we have another prime candidate for like an entrance of sorts, since that is another thoroughfare, and you know that's the way to the coal. And then over in the back corners, I'm still unsure. I might do something similar to where, you know, there's still openings, but it might also just end up being something like pillar related. And then I also want to kind of dress up the miners a little bit. You know, maybe kind of round off the corners a little bit, give them some 1 meter walls to kind of section them off, and you know, move the power lines and things of that nature. So that's that's kind of part of the idea, right? And then yeah, and then I'll kind of continue the design out this way. I will be putting a roof on this too. You know, maybe even lighting on the inside. But I don't want this to be some, like, I want to put some design into it, but I don't want it to be some hyper aesthetic factory, because not that this will get replaced at any point necessarily, but it'll be, it definitely has a cap, right? We're not going any higher than motors here, and this is purely really to kind of fund my later game factories with all the stuff they're going to need, right? So you see we need a ton of motors, so that's why motors is kind of the apex of what is going to be produced here. And then we got to get our power like up and running and move our space elevator out there, and you know, this and that. So I fully envision at some point there being a train line, maybe on the bottom here. Well, I mean, for sure on the bottom. You know, having a train come in and having a station somewhere. You know, we have all this space. It could be out here. It could be over there. You know, just kind of having like a depot. And maybe, you know, maybe this extends out. Maybe I can do some kind of like 45-degree extension where it kind of goes down into a big train station that then takes stuff over to the space elevator area where the main base is going to be, right? Because it's kind of trivial to remove the hub portion and move that, right? Like, I could just kind of cut that out and move all the stuff up there, which is kind of why I did it this way. I don't want it super integrated. And I'm also kind of playing with some light. I don't know if I like that necessarily. And I also got to figure out how to, I don't know, maybe run it up there if I do that. And the color. I'm not 100% sold on the color. You know, if you're interested, these are kind of the settings that I'm using for this. And it's hard to tell, you know, maybe if I get some really like aesthetic shots, or get some, do a thumbnail, I'll put Lumen on and crank it to ultra graphics and then just take the screenshot or something. But yeah, so this kind of how things are shaping up. I also plan to have a middle section, so maybe I should even color some of this, you know, kind of have this be reserved or something for not building, right? So build out to here a certain amount, because I want to use this space to be able to traverse up and kind of walk around and get a good view on things and all that, right? So I'm going to tinker around with this a little bit more, and then for sure we're going to be running over to the coal plant and kind of getting that set up a little bit more. And of course, we can't start working on our coal power plant if we don't talk to our good boys here. Twitch chat with the modular frames, and YouTube chat with the blue power slug. So I've done a little bit. Not, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I've been messing around a little bit over here, and let's kind of go in and take a quick look. There's been some slight changes you might notice, and this is still work in progress, right? But you might notice some design change over here. Some windows added in, and I'll kind of show you why, right? What the thought process behind all this is, right? So first thing you might notice is this area looks a little bit different. I still have the signs here. I want to do some kind of sign in this section to God, it's so loud. Some signs here to kind of show you what up and down are, and maybe even some lighting or something. I'm not sure, but I really wanted to just kind of make this walkway here. And the idea with the walkway is like the machines are there, but they're not there. So we've got some painted beams here. These are the full glass windows, but this walkway where you can kind of see the machines but not quite access them, and that kind of goes into this central area here where you can kind of maybe I'll actually put a door over here. Maybe I'll make this like a, let's see here, is it a wall? Yeah, like a, oh, maybe here, let's do the road barrier method. I'm just like thinking about this right now, because these are already half foundations, as you can tell. These got replaced with half foundations, so there was room. So if I make a gate hole, can I change that to, I can. So we do something like that, and then we put the automated gate in. Come on, snap, snap. Is that, it's like it doesn't like to be there. Okay. Well, for now we can just kind of like slap the gate in there. But you know, the idea, you can come up and go in, and that's kind of like the service entrance, but over here is the tour guide entrance, right? And so I just did a lot of work kind of painting, encasing everything in this glass, and adding this glass down here. I don't think, yeah, you can't get in over here, but you can walk around all the machines at least to kind of see how they're working. I want to extend the walkways over so that you still have access to the generators, but I wanted to incorporate the stair area too, because we need, I want a couple ways of getting up to that part up there, right? But I also want to show, well, if I can jump up here, I also want to show what I'm doing here. So these are a blueprint I made. I've been working on a couple blueprints. We can do just like a real quick, I'll show them later in the episode in the blueprint designer. But the idea is this part, so over here, this is kind of dedicated to getting up, right? Through a series of, you're able to get on all the different levels and get different vantage points, and eventually you'll be able to get to the upper layer here, right? This side, I want to be kind of like a showcase for the rest of the logistics going up, right? So we're going to bring the rest of the coal up this way and have it kind of be on display. The water pipes go up this way too. I'm still undecided on that. Maybe it'll just be the coal, right? But I thought that texture looked really cool, and yeah, so that's the idea there. Maybe, I don't know. This area is still a work in progress, and again, we're not going to have the aesthetics done. This is kind of an evolving project here, and this is the kind of place that I'll be working on my live streams, right? YouTube or Twitch. You'll find links for Twitch in the description, and if you're watching this video, you already know where to find me on YouTube, right? So yeah, a little bit more aesthetics here. I'm also playing with the idea of using these signs as kind of like a kind of the same thing, right? A light, where maybe I do like a yellow or something. Yeah, like a pale yellow. And then we do that. We'll make this none. Right? As kind of like a light of sorts. I don't know if I like this big sign. But kind of have them go up the stairs. All the way up. I might end up actually. If you're curious about how I did this, you literally just kind of hold it up to a certain point. Right? So I hold H to lock it in, and it'll be on this step here, and then you just push it back. One arrow key gets it to about there. I'm also thinking about using, let's see, like the really tiny, these guys, and maybe even move those over. Maybe have like an outside lit one or something. Ooh, maybe I could do something like that. Here, I'm like brainstorming this out loud with you guys. Right, so we go back like that. then maybe we grab one of these. Okay, not the stairs. The big problem with this is my what do you call it? My quartz crystal. So maybe we do that, right? Like maybe we have these. What do these even cost? 1? Okay. So maybe we have those go up, and that's kind of the pattern. I don't know. It's all something that I'm playing with, right? So yeah. All right. So that's kind of the plan here. I'm gonna connect this up, and then we'll start working on the area up there. Okay. So it's been a long day, and you'll see that it's actually night now. And this doesn't look that different, but the inside looks a little bit more done up, right? So in one of my ideas, I've got this entrance right here, and I'm going to have to do something with these power lines. There will be a big power tower incorporated into this design somehow, but for now we have those, right? So I did this so you kind of have like a, you know, like a walkway looking out, stairs to come up that are, you know, defined. I'm trying out this design here. I don't know if I like it or if I'm going to keep it, but again, we're trying it out. And in fact, let's go back down there because there's a little bit more, right? So this is one way in. This is kind of what I envision to be the main entrance. I may do some lights or signs or something in here. And then this is... we'll have to figure out the decor, right? But this is the way that I'm building to access all of this stuff in here, right? So I mentioned I was going to get it all up higher. And yeah, this is what I've been working on. It's kind of like a catwalk of sorts. I'm going to probably do some 1 meter walls kind of along here, you know, just to kind of define it. And these guys, the stairs are proving tricky, right? Because you can't, you know, you can't rotate the 1 meter walls. But you'll notice if we go over here, and again, lighting on everything, right? If you'll notice when we go over here, like we do have some stuff up here, right? Well, the way I accomplish that is by putting a sign or a ramp wall. Let's see if it'll snap anywhere. It doesn't want to give it to me at all. What is going on here? Kind of like that. So if you can get the ramp wall in there, it'll protrude enough like this. You can kind of see the line right there to give you something defined like that. So that's that. Let's go upstairs now. And again, the aesthetics are a work in progress, so don't judge me on that. Don't judge me hard, at least. So we're going to come up here, and we are going to figure out where our coal generators are actually going to sit, because we still need to fit another 16 up here. And this footprint is looking scarce, so I may end up needing to do 8 and then 8 over this way too. Yeah, that might actually end up being the case. And then I also need to plan for logistics. So let's just start, I guess. And I feel like I want the logistics inbound. And man, these are a lot bigger than I remember. Let's see, I want at least 1 tile. So maybe right there, right? So then I'll just build the rest of these real quick. Oh, they build so fast. And surface is uneven. Okay. I think we're going to have to chop some of this down. All right, so 6, well, I guess 8 coal generators. Now, I guess I could keep going this way. What I'm trying to balance is how it looks from this vantage point and how it looks from those vantage points. If I have it run this way more, then it does sort of feel like it can tie in to where we're going to have the batteries and the biomass burner plant over here. So actually, I think I like that idea. Let me just clear out some of this so we don't have clipping and just boop it in. All right, and there's 16 more coal generators. That's kind of massive. I put a pathway down the middle here. Right, so we'll need to figure out the design part, you know? Like, I kind of want even these. Maybe I'll do something like, oh, I don't have like a single ramp. But I kind of want to do something where I put a ramp on the top. You know, maybe do that. And then have those come up. Something like that. Because again, I want this to feel like one big foundation or structure, I guess not foundation, with multiple layers to it. Like this part here doesn't even need to be, and I might even get rid of these too. I'm kind of trying these out because I can also do something like this. Nope, that's not what I want. I want 4-meter wall baffles, right? I can do these somewhere in this design, right? We'll probably fill these in. You know, you guys are kind of a part of the design process right now, and this is kind of just how it works for me. Probably want to tie this all together. But then down here... actually, that's not bad. That's not bad. This is, of course, my bin of biomass type things that I'm going to be using for the biomass factory. But now we need to figure out how we are going to get coal and water in here, right? So my idea is to have the coal come out, yeah, somewhere over here. Maybe even somewhere that we can monitor it from the little viewing room that's like right in here. Right? So maybe it comes up. You know what? Let's go in there real quick, actually. Because what is on the other side of this? This might have to change, which is fine. We'll just use a ramp. And that's kind of the beauty of this, right? So maybe that changes too. I have no way of telling. I have no way of telling what that looks like. There we go. So maybe in here we have some coal coming up from down there. Like maybe it just comes up right here and we can see it go into a wall here. We don't have a ton of space there. You know, one thing I could do, if I just go out a little bit with this, kind of, but this is, I don't want to go from, well, I guess I did go from 1 to 2, didn't I? Yeah, kind of maybe use this. And then maybe do, well, no. Let's keep that there. I want to make the coal coming up and coming across feel right. So maybe what I can do, well, what is this? What is in here? I mean, this could work. If I do something like, hold on, where would it come up? What I want to do is something like the, no, not the frame floor, the glass frame foundation, right? If I do, ooh, you know what? I can even do that here. Right? Maybe like that. So you'll come up and you'll just kind of see it come up and go this way. And then this is just kind of for fun. And maybe we put a railing on it. And then when you come up the stairs here, you'll see it, which means the coal's going to come out over here. Which means that we want to put a... Let's think here. So I think what we're going to do, we need to do a wall. We need to do it all the way from here so that it looks consistent. We'll do that to there. And then we'll need to do that at least right here. You're not going to see this part because I'm going to kind of close that off, right? But then from here we can do a 1 meter foundation. Hold on. It's coming in from there, right? Okay, so we'll do conveyor wall right there and right here. Right. Come on. Snap to the bottom. That's one way to do it, I guess. Okay, so then the only hard part of this is going to be getting the... you know what? Let me put this down here. Because I'm going to need to connect this. Do that. Do that. And then they're going to need to come up. Where will they need to come up? We have all of the connections here. Does the conveyor floor hole go this far down? Logistics. Oh my goodness, it does. Okay, nice. So that actually gives us a logistics level. That's actually perfect. So then you're actually going to be... You're going to be there. So we're going to have all of this. Don't even need that. You're not going to see this part, right? This is pure logistics. So what I can then do is come up like so. And set that to straight mode. We'll have this guy feed that way. And you feed this way. Right? So this will feed the close ones. And that one will feed the farther down ones. So let me at least hook these belts up. And then we'll come back and start doing the water. So we've got the coal that's going to come up right here. And I kind of already showed that, but now I've got these things hooked up. And you'll notice it looks a little bit different. The way I'm building things, it gets a little tight right here. So I made the executive decision here to find this rock and kind of bump up that side. So at least now it's not just one straight line, it's kind of going in levels. And I think that might look kind of nice from that side too. So we'll kind of see how that works out. But that allowed me to kind of run this belt up, pop it over, and then hit all the coal from there. So now, I mean, I still have to run the coal to the lifts, but now I think we need to start, thinking water, right? And again, we want to use the least amount of water we can. So, or the least amount of elevation, which doesn't bode well for all that, but at least we can hide the pumps a little bit, right? So what I need to do now, I think I need to set a grid. So we're just going to kind of go out. And if this is all in the same grid in my mind, it just makes it easier to kind of deal with. Let's go vertical. We'll kind of come down. See, like this is still kind of... Well, I mean, maybe this isn't too high. This will all be useful for the other factory, or the battery and the biomass burner. Okay, I can get it on. All right. So now we need to get out there. So maybe we'll just kind of do just straight out. Am I strapped? Only with explosives. Didn't hit him, but scared him. That was my last one. Well, dang. Okay. Don't get close. Okay, so I need 6 water extractors out there. So what I'm going to do, let's just go farther out. Now, this will be... This is a little bit different. Because we're going to have... Before I could combine them all into a U-shaped pipe, now I don't know how that's going to work as well. Maybe it's actually just easier to put... You know what? I think it might be. I think we're going to have to do what I didn't want to do. Oh, you know what? What am I doing? I have 17,000 obelisks just waiting for me. So I can get my revenge. I don't know if that's far enough. That was way too far. They are feared, though. Okay, so we'll leave this here for now. Let's go downstairs and kind of check out the water situation. And the coal. We got to get it all up there. So being down here did allow me to put on my valve. You'll see I have it set for 16. And the logic behind that is we have, well, 240 divided by 45 was 5 and change. 240 representing these 2 water extractors. So that and change, I'm just sending this way, right? So because if we do 45 times 5 is 225. So 240 minus 225, no, minus is 15, right? So that extra little 15 those are producing is going this way, and I think it's helped stabilizing the power a little bit. Can I see some power? Do you really not allow me? Okay, whatever. Whatever. But I did that on this side and this side. So now I need to figure out how can I fit 6 more extractors in here. And okay, we'll start by putting that there. And it's probably going to involve tearing out some of this walkway, but I would very much like my grid to come over there. Yes, thank you. Okay, so let's just start getting rid of some of this. And the orientation doesn't really matter. I just need them to be in here, right? So, all right, let me build more grid. And we're for sure gonna have to pump everything up. Now let's get rid of this. These baffles look kind of cool, though. I'll tell you that. Okay, let's come out this way. Now. You know what? What if I did something like that? Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's see if we can aim this way. Cannot be nudged. Okay. It's fine. Maybe we'll start from the big end first. The question becomes, how much do we care about clipping? Well, that's in line with that, but I don't necessarily care about that. And, I mean, I assume that's enough space for the water pipe. So if we do that... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll get rid of some of this. God, that is like no room for pipes. Man, the logistics of this are going to be fun. So let's see here. So I can combine 2 pipes, send 3 total pipes up, and then split them up there. That's an option. That might reduce the amount of pumps I need, because I don't have to worry about splitting everything time all the way up there. And maybe that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm almost embarrassed to admit how we got to this point, but we have water. We have coal. I'll show you how it's coming up, but do not judge this because it will change. Probably not over a couple streams, but I just wanted to get it working, right? So we're bringing up the coal here. In fact, I kind of maneuver this around. It's kind of hard to see with this on, but pipes, belts right there with the coal. And if we come down here, you'll kind of see what I did, right? So here's, yeah. I basically went vertical through there. It's super, super gross down here. I really don't like it, honestly. But I have to use it for now, right? We got like pumps in random spots, and this is just kind of thrown together. So, yeah, that's just kind of doing its thing there. But the important part is the water has made its way up. And now it's, I don't know, we're in a weird spot, right? So what I did is I combined those into 3 240 pipes, right? So if we do 3 times 240, that's 720 divided by 45, that's exactly 16, right? So what I need to figure out, I need to take one full pipe and kind of do the same thing. Go to the first 5, put a valve, take the second pipe, split it off. And that's kind of what this pipe is for. I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I didn't really plan this. I mean, I guess this is good oil practice, right? But the idea is that I'm just going to take these pipes and kind of just go like that. Yeah, something like this, right? And then just literally... noodle's fine. You know, just hook them up this way. I gotta be careful. There's so much stuff on the ground here. Right, so we do this. And then eventually... Now, this is just one pipe going all the way down. If I had a 600 pipe, this would be a different story. But I don't have a 600 pipe. It looks like there's already water flowing in here, right? And so my thought process is I will do this. Basically hook all the pipes up to this one pipeline. Somehow, God, that looks so gross. I'm gonna go back and fix all this, I swear. I just needed to get it up and running for proof of concept. And I'm trying to line this up. Right? So the idea is that we feed from one side, feed from the other side, and then, and you know what, honestly, I may still just go get the water from the pond over there. That seemed like it was going to be a logistics nightmare. This is just as bad. I like this even worse almost. Right? So we're going to do something like this. So we'll have one pipe go out there. One pipe go out there. Now you're never going to see all this. This is all going to be hidden. But the idea is that we kind of just run the pipes over this general direction. Now let's be good about this. Oh my god. Can I get rid of this? What is under here? Nothing. Really? Okay. There was a whole bunch of water in there. So again, like I keep trying to say, the idea is that we run the pipes kind of out in this direction. One of these pipes, this one, will attach to the far end of that main pipe. What is this? Look at all this space we have. All these unnecessary foundations. My goodness. Here, let's like realign this. So this far pipe will go to the very far end and attach to there. Then essentially this pipe is flowing in from two sides. Then I'm going to go into the middle, right? Because each one of these is doing 5 and change, right? So in between these three, so probably about like right here. Probably about right there. I'm going to take that pipe. I'm going to pump it up a little bit. And then you're just going to go like right in there. And this guy is just going to come all the way to the end. Again, I'm going to fix all this. Don't judge the pipe work. This is merely proof of concept and testing because I'm not a fluids guy yet. And you know what? I'm probably going to have to put pipes down. Or pumps. I'm not going to be shocked if I need pumps. Okay, so you're going to do this actually. Okay, what if I go this way? Okay, what if I go like this? Yes? I just want it to look nice, man. Alright. Where was I? You are going to go like there. There's for sure going to need to be pumps here. I just know it. But the idea is that these pipes flowing in are just going to boost everything where necessary. Will that work? Probably not. But I will figure it out. Again, this is just kind of like the concept. You know? I could not have picked a worse spot to do this either. And I'm just positive that we're going to need pumps. I mean, I guess we'll be able to tell if we see water getting in there. I mean, that has head lift right there. These seem like they're pumping up pretty quick. So the pumps we have down at the other end of the line might be doing something. I guess let's go up there because we already got water flowing. We got coal in there. They probably need to be hooked up though. Yeah, so no connection. But this is full of water. All right, we're gonna do it on this side though because I eventually don't really want to see that over there. So let me get this wired up real quick. Okay, and at least for now, it seems like everything is working. Huge power jump. Now this is on its own grid, right? I haven't hooked this back up to the main grid, but we should be getting 16 times 75. Yeah, 1200. So when it's holding pretty stable, what we'll be telling is what happens after the pipes go out, but it seems like that's okay. I think this concept actually works. Like, I think this filling pipe right here is actually doing something useful. But again, we'll kind of see if we go look at the other grid. Yeah, so we're still a little like up and down with one of them. So I might actually retrofit the downstairs ones to use a similar concept. But man, I think I'm going to have to remake all this stuff with 1 meter foundations. At least maybe these two. So that I can have like a uniform surface to work with. And then yeah, that should make things a lot easier to deal with. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good test so far. I mean, it's been running long enough that if it wasn't getting water, we'd know about it. And yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, see, I knew at some point. What are you, out of water? Yeah. Okay, so probably, I don't know, there might need to be some. Well, I mean, it's got a bunch of water here. It might just need to kind of like equalize out. What I can also do is after the 1, 2, 3, 4, after the fifth one, so right in here, put valves. And then the same thing, 1, 2, 3, put a valve right here so that this pipe is just filling it both ways. But I mean, it's pretty damn close. Obviously, that's like a lot of work, but I can always remake this to just use Mark II pipes and we'll be good to go. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Let's go end this episode. So we'll end off with some shots of the starter factory in its current state. Like I said, I was gonna do a little bit more tinkering around with it, and the main focus of the next episode has got to be starting to produce things, because I literally ran out of concrete during this thing, and I had to go take foundations down to get concrete back. So for sure, next episode we're going to be starting to produce more stuff and really kind of get this base kicked off, and we should ideally have the power to handle all that. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. I hope you're enjoying this series. I hope you like this design. I'm pretty partial to it, but of course I'm always open for feedback if you guys got any suggestions or anything like that. So let me know in the comments, and with that, we'll see you in the next one.